nobody ever wakes up one day and is like, man, I want to go be an alcoholic today. Nobody says that, but people become alcoholics, right? So how do you become an alcoholic if no one ever sets out for that goal? Well, it's a lack of direction. You start following your feelings, for example.
It says, what steps can someone take to bring their vision to life?
Ooh, well, it depends. I mean, it would depend if they have a vision or not. From my experience, most people don't have a vision. So maybe we'll just start with how to create one in a simple way. If you already have a vision, we'll get to the end of that question in a second. But what I always coach people to do is 3 steps. You want to make it 3 lists, and then you want to go have action towards those 3 things. And it's called a be, do, have list. You call it whatever you want, vision casting. What you do is, if you're on this live, go grab a piece of paper real quick, and I want you to write down the top 25 values of your life, top 25 things you care about. And if you get stuck on 1 or 2, because most people get stuck at like number 7, because then you'll realize for the first time that you've never thought about this before. And you probably don't think about it on a daily basis. What are your top 25 values, right? And think about, when you're stuck on 7, think about at your funeral, what do you want your son or daughter to say about you at your funeral? And the funny thing is, for example, I was telling Christopher here, we were having breakfast, last Friday morning, and we were talking about, this is the chapter in my book about this concept, this idea that nobody ever wakes up one day and is like, man, I want to go be an alcoholic today. Nobody says that, but people become alcoholics, right? So how do you become an alcoholic if no one ever sets out for that goal? Well, it's a lack of direction. It's a lack, right? You start following your feelings, for example, right? You start following these dopamine releases, right? You have no direction, no value, right? Because then, people, what are they going to say at that funeral? Oh, you're an alcoholic. No one wants to see that, right? But no one thinks about their legacy or what they want their life to amount to, right? While they're here. And so you got to think, okay, what do you want people to say about you? Do you want them to call you a liar? Okay, so maybe honesty is important to you, right? So if you don't know, if you're stuck at 7, right? If you don't know what it is, start thinking about what you don't want to be. Do you want people to say that you were lazy? Ooh, right? You're in college, you're probably lazy. Most people in college are really, really lazy. So is that really what you want? Because what we all find is when we don't live up to those values and that integrity, we usually get pretty upset, right? We actually feel worse about ourselves. And we go down this spiral. You go in this cyclical thing of like, oh, I messed up. Dang it, I'm mad at myself. Oh, I'm mad at myself for being mad at myself. And you go in that and you keep going. Like the feedback loop from hell. That's from a book I read. Feedback loop from hell. But if you just have a B, one of the first of 3 steps, right? Just have a B, your 25 values of who you are and what you care about. It's going to start pointing you in the right direction. And when you first start it, you're probably not going to know your overall vision. It took me doing this list and really thinking on it, talking to mentors, finding mentors. If you don't have a mentor, go find a mentor, so ask somebody.
Or go find a mentor. Yes. Go find a mentor. You do not know the answers.
Multiple mentors.
So many, right? Go find people who are smarter than you, better than you at things that you would like to learn how to do, for example. But even just having that B, it's going to tell you what kind of people to spend time with. Because another issue that holds people back is being young, dumb, and broke. It's who they spend their time with, right? They don't have their values. So they spend time with everybody. Well, you don't want to spend time with everybody because you want to spend time with people with those similar values. Now, it might be your mission, right? It might be your mission to help people who maybe don't share those values or struggle with those. And that's okay, right? You need to go spend time with those people. But like, who's your inner circle? Most people don't create an inner circle. They don't think about, who are my top 5 friends? Who are my acquaintances? Who are people whose opinion I literally don't care about? Even if because some people are going to have an opinion about you. And that opinion, either you're going to take it to heart and it's going to hold you back, especially if it's negative, or it's not going to matter to you. And you're just like, you know what? They don't get it. So, okay, if you have those values, now you know who to spend time with. Spend time with people who are really good at those things. And so once you start spending time with those people, you're going to start hearing some things. You're going to start learning about some things. And that's where the second list is starting to come from, your values. So if you want to be honest, you can't go be a drug dealer. Like that doesn't usually go together. If you would like to be an honest person, they're not together, right? So there's certain jobs that you are gonna cut out of your life once you have this list, and some of them are really tempting. Greed is a big thing. Making $1 million a year sounds great, but there things that you can be doing that make you $1 million a year, help you live the lifestyle you want. That's also your mission. It's probably harder to get to, but it's going to be worthwhile. It's going to help a lot of people, for example. So the next list, you're going to do your D list. You're going to get 25 things that you want to do in your life that relate to your B, to your values. So like one of mine's I want to be relentlessly encouraging. Every single meeting I have, every single conversation I have, I always say, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And right at the end, no matter what it is, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And that small example, the stat on that is the number one reason people quit their job is they do not appreciate. So appreciation, just putting that in with your value, boom, right there. You're making people feel amazing. And that helps you build a brand, for example. Other dues would be like, start like a nonprofit that helps people like high school kids, because that's one of the things, man of God, be impactful. So I want to be impactful. So that's where that sort of came from for me, right? Another do could be like being a soccer coach for your kids, something you want to do in your life. You want to write 5 books. You want to do a podcast. You want to do whatever it is, right? And you come out with this 25 things, and the why is going to fuel those, and those will come pretty quick. If you just keep working on it, like you'll get 25. They'll take you some time. Again, you've probably never thought about this. So taking your time, that's a good thing. New things take time. The last thing, so third one, right, is your have list, right? So you've got your values, you've got your self-actualization is what that's called, right? Self-actualization, do what you're going to accomplish in your life because, and you're going to be like, okay, now what's the lifestyle I'd like to live? Because you also don't want to burn yourself out, right, to death, just working all the time. But, obviously, if your mission is really important, then that's great too. So lifestyle, right? So for example, like I want to have a soccer field in my backyard. Why? Well, because I love soccer, but it'd also be really cool to have a community of people who just come play soccer at my place. And that's a way to go minister to people, right? That's a way to go connect with people. A basketball court in the backyard, right? Having places where people can come together. That's where my wife and I want to be. That's our vision, right? We want to be that connector. We want to be that community-driven, type couple, type parents that we make some changes there, right? We want to make some lives be connected, right? People who are unconnected, they struggle, right? People who are connected have support. It's so much better off. So that's some of the halves, right? Some of the other halves can just be like, have a smoking hot wife. That one's checked off the list. So that's good. Other halves can be, some of the halves can be fun too. It's like have, a really nice whatever car at some point, right? But the haves, right, some of those materialistic things, they can be fun, but again, they're the least important thing compared to be the do. Some of them are just, what's the lifestyle? Okay, I want to have my Saturdays. When I'm 25 plus, I want to have my Saturdays free. When I'm 30 plus, I want to be retired at 55. So these have lists, right? So you get your B's, your do's, your haves. You do them in that order, you'll be set up pretty well to get started. And then action would be getting those mentors. The problem with young people is they start with the haves and they do whatever it takes to get the haves, and they become whatever they become in order to get the have. And that's backwards. And then they look back and they feel bad about themselves. So,
I'm not gonna lie. You just dropped so many gems right now. Like, I feel like you really just gave people an entire blueprint. Literally, that makes your vision stronger within itself. And the main thing that prevents people from chasing their dreams because they don't know how to. I feel like if you do it the way you talked about, which is very detailed and clear, very precise, I feel like people can start seeing the difference in their life.
And I want to add someone to that because that was straight fire, by the way. I want to add someone to that. I mean, man, like the whole step. I hope you got your sheet of paper full right now because you need to be writing stuff down. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? But from what I can tell, at least, is one of the core things is that people need to make their vision their lifestyle. They need to make sure that's something they constantly are doing. It shouldn't just be an emotion-based thing. It should be something, a habit. It should be a duty of yours that you always participate in. That's why when people say, "Oh, well, I just don't feel the same that I used to feel." Well, it's because it's not a part of your lifestyle. You don't do it all the time, so you only did it because you had that fire. You're like, "Oh, I'm hyped up. Let me go do it." That's not gonna last forever. So you need to actually build it into your lifestyle. That's why he says make sure you're around the right people because you're already gonna be in that lifestyle so where it already fits everything you're gonna do anyway. Right? It fits your values, it fits your dues, it fits your halves, right? Because it's already what you were doing. So I mean that's one of the core things people don't do is that they say, "Oh, I'm gonna put everything I got," but that burns out in like 2 weeks. Right? Like that, I gotta get it done. That burns out in like 2 weeks max. You're like, man, well, I went hard, right? And then you're tired again because you were never in a constant system that was gonna support you in the thing. So that's what people gotta start building is that habit, the habitual nature, and build that duty in them to say, I do this because it's up to this value of mine. And this value holds me close to earth, right? And that's why I do this. So they always have a reason to do it, right? Instead of saying, well, I'm passionate right now. Well, that passion can leave. But if you have a duty to something, you have an obligation to something, you have a mission for something, other people rely on you. So now you have to get that thing done. It makes you work harder at it. It makes you do it for a long period of time. That's all I have to add. You know what I mean? But yeah. No, Joe already hit his burner, man. I'm trying to stack up to Joe right now, man. He already hit the burner.
No, that's really a great point because it reminded me of Rich Dad Poor Dad. The author was like, this might not be the best book. He was like, I might not have written the right words, the right placement. The chapters might be out of place to some people. Some people aren't going to like it. But he said one thing he was going to do the best out of everyone is market his book, put it out there. So it's like, if you want to be a rapper or a clothing line, whatever you want to do, it doesn't have to be the best. You just have to treat it like it's the best and work hard like you want it to be the best. So I feel like you were saying, it's not about being motivated because some days you aren't going to be motivated. Some days you're going to wake up and want to quit. It's all about consistency and doing it like it's your purpose, aligning that with God and, really tying it all back together, making your whole life a loop. Absolutely. We definitely dropping some gems right now.
Absolutely. I think just to add real quick, we go to the next question, but okay. I really like what Christopher just said. Your true character is reflected in the moments you want to do something the least.
Most definitely. Muhammad Ali, when he used to train, right? I just found this out. When he used to do push-ups, he would only start counting when it started hurting. He would bust out about 50. When he started feeling the tension in his arms, he would start from 1. That's a tough mindset to have. He wasn't the best fighter, but he carried himself like he wanted to be the best fighter, you know? So it's all about that consistency we talk about, because people look at these legends and look at these rich people and they're like, oh, they're just so far away, but it's all about consistency and building yourself up, building your foundation to make that legacy and whatever your passion is.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to understand too that the people who are the super successful, it's like, what is success anyway? I mean, you got to come up with your own definition, one, but two, they're not that special. They just learned and learned and learned and learned and failed a lot. And they were just the people who didn't give up. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. They're just the people who didn't give up. You know, the people who are the most successful is people who did not give up. Most people just give up. And that's a habit, right? You can change that. But if you consistently do that, you want to start rectifying it, right? Very quickly. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're quitting on things that are small, you're going to quit on big things too. So don't do that if you would like not to be, dumb and broke.